Okay. About 15 minutes, I have a guest coming up, and we're going to get into some serious stuff. He's going to throw some serious information. Be objective about it. I don't want to take either side. No. That does no good at all. We need to get the information out and everyone make their mind up for themselves. That is the only way that this situation can be resolved, by bringing objectivity. In my opinion, I'm no scholar. All right, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Before I want to get into what's going on over there in Israel, but I do want to talk about Lahaina. Talk a little bit about that. And if I can't go to a particular thing, or if I'm asking too much, they say, "Hey, you're asking too much."
There's no such thing as asking too much.
Okay.
It's kind of like what I told folks all the time. I tell them, basically, sometimes I can't answer your question, but what I can tell you is keep digging and keep digging that way.
Well, I have been digging, and I don't think you heard what I said because I was talking about this. I looked into the war bonds, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I dug deeper, and I only saw Illinois bought war bonds in 2014 before anything occurred in the Ukraine, before the destabilization, which the governor over there had an idea, and I could only imagine how many U.S. Congressmen bought war bonds.
Well, it was a different world in 2014 than it was in 2017. And it's real simple. It's like Russell Brand. They canceled him because he basically told everyone, he said, once they realized how much money that they could make in war, and also we break it, and then we're going to turn right around and we're going to pull taxpayer monies that are going to fund it. And then Vanguard, Statestreet, or Blackrock. That's the holy trinity, unholy trinity, because I don't know, you and I discussed it, but your listeners may not know. But if you look at Blackrock, the number one investor, the number one shareholder in Blackrock is Vanguard, and the number two is Statestreet. When you jump over to Vanguard, the number one investor shareholder is Blackrock, and the number two is Statestreet. If you jump over to Statestreet, the number one is Blackrock, the number two is Vanguard. So they all own each other, and they also own Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Apple, everything. That all tracks back to these three. And so that's not tinfoil hat, where it's like the song says, now the whole country's stocking up on Reynolds wrap. I mean, everybody's figuring out now that the only ones who've had it right were the crazies. Okay. And my favorite line that I ever heard from a kid, I said, a little kid said, "Mama, what's a conspiracy theorist?" And the mama said, "Somebody who figures it out before everybody else."
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was really cute. You know, but I'll tell you, with the funding up to 2016, they had everything geared for war, constant war, and when people stay afraid, then people give up their liberties for more security. So once they realize they get more power by keeping people afraid, and once they realize that they make more money by keeping the whole world in a turmoil of war, then the people across the planet in every country find themselves in a constant state of fear and a constant state of war. And when we made the change, it was the great zeitgeist, the awakening that was starting to happen. But just like people, when they first wake up, we weren't as focused as we should be. And it started in 16. okay, where we started to buck the system.
Yeah.
We didn't realize we were all fenced in. We didn't realize the animal farm to the degree that it was, but we knew something was off. Everybody, every man, woman, child, everywhere, we just knew something was off. And that began the global rebuke of institutions who saw themselves as trusted, but what they actually found out was they had just gotten so comfortable in their betrayal that they didn't even try to cover their tracks anymore. And it was at that point that we flipped the script and we started breaking chains. The hardest chains to break are those of the mind.
Oh yeah.
Once we start breaking those, that's where we truly become free. And when they'll never be a we the people until there's a free to people, right? And so that's what's happening. I'm so incredibly proud of all of the children of Africa here in the United States, because in the last 24 months, I can feel a great rising coming, a great rising. They are realizing we have been lied to rob lines from Alpha. We have been hoodwinked and bamboozled, and they're calling it what it is, like it is, and they're just breaking out. And the thing what going back to what you were asking me, because all of this had a point, you know, with 2014, they were buying up all these bonds because they already had a plan in place already running all the way through to 2020, 2024. They had these plans in place. Nothing was going to upset them. They never saw 2016 coming. Then they spent all this time after 2016, some very powerful people and alphabet agencies had a lot of people go and sit, and they hit them with Q&A. How did this happen? They wanted to know how it happened so they could guarantee that it wouldn't happen again.